What's up, boys? Welcome back to another guide. In fact, this is another emergency guide, my second emergency guide after defending the parting Blinkle, and now we're gonna be defending proxy VOIDRAYS. And to be honest, guys, I played against this for a long time. I played like 15 games in a row to find the best response. I have to say this is very difficult. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys have been getting tortured by this already. Or if you haven't, then you're probably gonna get tortured by it. So there's a really new strong version where they just go 12 pylon, 13 gate, and it hits super fast. And honestly, with the new build time and the cost of the VOIDRAYS, I actually needed to adapt my response a lot. Every time I attempted the classical response, which is just, two bunkers, get your Cyclone Viking out, maybe Reactor Viking. I just got on so fast. I would have like 7 Marines and a Cyclone by the time there's 4 VOIDRAYS with a battery. So I'm going to share some things with you guys, some mistakes that I made that you can't be affording anymore against this build. And yeah, I'm going to show you guys what I think is the best response. I evolved it every game, The first 5 games I just lost straight away. And I've been evolving it since. So first important point, guys, with this patch, cheeses are going to be a lot more common. Not just the VOIDRAY one, but people are also going to be trying to mind game off of that, If you start blind counting VOIDRAY, they might start doing other builds. So sadly, the SCV scout is going to be mandatory now. Like, I don't think you can get away with SCV scouting anymore. So just to rally that 18th SCV over for the perfect scout timing. If they probe harass now, usually probe harass means they don't cheese. But I wouldn't feel so safe anymore. So honestly, I would just send this SCV out and use another one. It might cost you some minerals, but yeah, it's worth it to not lose to proxy VOIDRAY and stuff for free all the time. So we're gonna go for that 18 SCV scout. Repo orbital as normal. This is from a Rax gas, by the way, barracks first. So this is the most standard Terran build you can do. Now, a mistake I made before was, so we have to consider the meta a little bit, right? Like I said before, when it was a proxy, it was almost always a proxy gateway, but now that's gonna change. So I actually don't think you can do stuff like getting the blind bunker in the low ground anymore. I noticed that whenever I saw the lack of nexus and I instantly made the bunker on the low ground, it would cost me a lot against the VOIDRAY all-in. So just make the depot here. First step, guys, you see this. Instantly send the SCV forward and scout the gases. Now, with you can't see too much in the probe count. If you will pay very close attention, they'll probably have 2 more probes. Like if you're very good at counting, if you can tell, if they do the normal version, they're gonna have 2 more probes. If you see this probe count where it's only 14, that means they're probably doing the hyper all-in version, so keep that in mind. But anyway, just for the easy scouting tips, you scout the 2 gases. When you see 2 gases, you know something is most likely up. It could be a VOIDRAY or double robo, just something crazy. And then what I'm gonna do with this SCV is, sometimes they might kill it. If you have a lot of APM to spare, if you're confident, you can. It's better to hide it a bit further away, so you can move it in later. But I was lazy, and I just patrolled it here to see if the next was ever gonna come down. One thing I do have to add, by the way, guys, this is not the only replay I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys 2 more replays of different holds. And one thing that's very important to note is that Protoss actually has to build this pretty far away. Because if it's close enough, you can just pull your SCVs and kill it. Like, I'm pretty sure they can't do anything about it. You will kill it 100% of the time if you do it right. And I'm going to show that after as well, by the way. With the Reaper, as soon as you scout that there's no nexus, you have to scout around with the Reaper. So yeah, as you can see, I put some arrows. These are the logical places for a proxy Stargate. That's where you usually find them. Talking about the SCV pool, I would say if it's anywhere in one base next to your natural, so if they put it anywhere here or anywhere here, that's what I would consider possible to SCV pool. If it's anywhere further, like here, maybe this location or whatever, somewhere here, then SCV pooling is probably going to be a bit too sketch. But if they build it in any of your possible third bases, that's a good rule, I think. Then you can SCV pool it to kill it. So I was going to build it here. I think I got a bit lucky with the scout, yeah. Okay. So, This is actually, what's really cool about this response is that you can do it and save your natural, by the way. That's very important. If you survive an all-in on one base, you guys know it. I don't have to tell you guys. Sometimes you just get contained and the Protoss takes its natural and you get slow tortured and that's it. But I actually found that you could hold it while having the natural of this response. So step 1 after locating the Stargate is building the bunker on the edge. And what this does is, like, this bunker is gonna die anyway. This bunker is not super important. It's just to hold them off early. And putting the bunker on the edge, this could be on other maps. It makes sure the batteries he builds are not gonna be too close. As you know, this build is not super strong without batteries. Then, second step is going for the eBay. And this is very important, guys. Like, I was playing against Gold, and he said it to me as well. When I started making turrets, he said I looked like straight from Gold League, making turrets against an all-in, you know, or like the AI or something. But this is actually very important. I can assure you, this is by far the best response I found. So, yeah, you get the eBay after the factory, after the bunker as well. Now you can see why this is important. So he can't just start batteries right here right away. Then we go for the tech lab. This should honestly, ideally be unsaturated, so this SCV is probably gonna die now. But yeah, move that SCV up to the high ground if you can. Oh, I'm actually gonna save it. Feels good. And then as soon as the eBay finishes, like a VOIDRAY is nothing without the battery, so you can actually deter it with the Marines you have. And then you're gonna start making turrets, getting a Cyclone out. Also, I only put 4 guys in gas for the start, so you're actually able to afford turrets. This is important. Try to pay attention to your gas management. Definitely do not fully stack your gases because you can already see. Like, I need the gas later, but if I had 6 guys in gas, I wouldn't even be able to make these turrets. So I only put 2 in each gas, deterring the VOIDRAY. And also here you can see how scary it is. Like, look how fast those VOIDRAYs build. The second one's already finished. So then after that, I'm gonna go for the mag field upgrade. Batteries are popping up. And I think why you need these turrets, guys, just to be clear, is Marines. Like, you'll notice it if you try to hold this with just bunkers. Your Marines do, like, no damage at all on the VOIDRAYs. They have, like, barely any DPS. Like, I've had games where the VOIDRAYs just fly over my bunker all the way here and then fly all the way back and they would just be alive. So you really need turrets for DPS. Now, at this point, to be honest, guys, I'm underdoing it a little bit. The second VOIDRAY can already break this. This turret is already too late for my taste. Ideally, you have some SVs here to repair. Like, this bunker is gonna go down 100%, guys, but obviously you should save it. But the most important part is the turrets here. Like, as you can see, the batteries are healing, but the turret is doing, like, all of the DPS. I feel like the turret does more damage than all of the other units combined. One thing I do have to note is that you might think it looks scary, but VOIDRAYs cannot break the turrets without the prismatic alignment. Okay, so even though it looks like I'm about to be broken, they actually always need to go for that charge. So this turret was never gonna die. But definitely, like, don't overdo it. Don't underdo it. I think I may have misspoken earlier. I'm not sure. But like, get as many turrets as you need. I have one here, so he can't just fly around and kill my stuff. But you definitely need to be spamming turrets. Now, step 3, or is it step 4? I'm not sure anymore. Is to get a starport in the end with a reactor on the barracks. And I also tried to go for 2 factories, and it also worked, but it was a lot more difficult and a lot more sketchy because it's just hard to finish the game with just Cyclones. And also, what their response to this might be if you get a lot of turrets is to go for Tempest. I think this might also happen this game. And the Tempest are going to be really good against the Cyclone, and that's where the Vikings come in. So I actually felt like this was the perfect order to do things. You get the turrets and the Cyclones with Macfield, and then after that you go for the starport with the reactor. Make sure to not make your starport before, by the way, because then you're not going to be able to afford either Cyclones or Macfield. And now I'm already safe. Like, these turrets are not really going to be broken. He can definitely break these at a price, especially now Macfield is not finished yet. Here we go, and that's why you need to keep making turrets. Like, as you can see, you still have 4 alive. And a very important thing of these turrets is that it keeps the VOIDRAYs from being able to dive on your Cyclones. Like, VOIDRAYs are very fast now without the prismatic alignment. So it's pretty easy for them to dive on Vikings and Cyclones. But if you have the turrets, you always have something to feel back to. Oh, by the way, guys, I don't think he saw this, but obviously please fly this CC away and don't leave it there, because then it's just gonna die. I got a bit of a lucky break there. Also, not a bad thing to do here, by the way, is to actually use the energy to launch depots, because your depots are probably gonna die, and it's hard to keep up with money. There you go. And now the mag field is finished, he's gonna have to be very careful. Like, those bad boys do like 40 damage. And then, when you have a lot of turrets set up and you have your mag field, this is what you can start doing. If any battery is built too close, you can just lock onto it with a cyclone and you can't do anything about it because of the turrets. Like like I said before, bunkers and marines and stuff, they actually just don't do any damage. And these turrets are actually scary enough for him to have to keep the VOIDRAYS back. Or at least not be able to YOLO on everything. And then from this point on, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You just have to... Like, once you have your turret set up, you're not going to be broken. And now it... Yeah, here we go. Now it kind of becomes... how do I even call this? A macro cheese? I don't know. Like, now it becomes a game where he tries to contain you, goes for Tempest, and you want to try to break out at some point. But when it comes to the production, it's very simple right now. You just make Vikings and Cyclones, and that's what you spam. And as you guys can see... right now I have such a good unit composition against this. Even though I made a lot of mistakes in my management. I didn't make enough turrets at the start, and I got supply blocked a lot. But I'm still in a very good position now. All those batteries that are too far forward are gonna fall to this kiting with the Cyclone. And also, one thing I would recommend, to be honest, is to make the game a lot easier for yourself. You could actually kill the Marine and the Reaper, because then you can F2 and use the lock-on ability. I'm not sure if the Reaper is also a priority over the Cyclone, but the Marine definitely is. And if you F2 right now, it's gonna select the Marine with no abilities. So if you want to make the game easier for yourself, you can actually kill this Marine. And in case the Reaper also has priority, you can kill the Reaper as well. Because else you need to double click or control click your Cyclones every time to lock on one target. Because there's so many batteries, you always want to lock on one target, right, to make sure you kill it. So just one small tip, if you have like one Marine and one Reaper like this, you can totally just kill them. They're not adding anything here. And just to make the game easier for yourself and prevent miss micro, you can kill them yourself. Now you see he can't get any more batteries up and it's time for Tempest. And that's why you need those Vikings. It's pretty hard to chase Tempest with Cyclones, especially because like they're going to be shooting from here. And you're going to lock on, they'll fly back, and you're going to have to go all the way around. But if you get to a critical Viking number, you can actually start one-shotting those. So like I said, I actually experimented as well with two factory Cyclone. And you can also do it, maybe try it out, maybe you'll like it more. But I'm pretty sure that this is, on paper, the better response to get the Vikings in the end anyway. Honestly, there's not much to do right now. I don't really want to add any more turrets. One thing you could try and do is add turrets here. But against the Tempest, that's probably not going to work. If it's pure VOIDRAYS, you can get some turrets closer to the edge. Because then you can really start picking up all those batteries for free. Now you can see the damage of the lock-on. Those Macfield Cyclones putting in so much work. Obviously, you could think, why don't I just play normal Macfield without all the turrets? Well, Macfield is a long upgrade, guys. Your units are gonna get dived on, and you're probably not gonna make it through. But now, once you have that set up, the units are just so strong. At this point, I'm feeling very confident. I don't think you have to do this, but I was feeling very confident in breaking out at this point. So here we go. Cyclone, honestly, so much DPS that it out-DPSs the batteries hardcore, as you can see. And that's gonna be it, guys, for this game. Relax, guys. The video's not over yet. And yeah, this is the best hold I found, exactly in this order as well. Like, there's some adaptations you could make, but I think you 100% need the turrets. I actually don't think you're gonna hold this without the eBay and the turrets, guys, the bunkers and stuff. It was just, I tried a lot of times, I get completely owned. They don't do enough don't do enough damage, the Marines in the bunkers. Neither do the Cyclones without the mag field. So yeah, I think this is definitely the best response. And now I'm going to show you guys what you can do if they build the proxy too close. So this one is actually very simple, guys. And also, like I said before, I'm going for the SCV pool hold here because he's going to build the proxy a bit too close. And I also think it's very important that you do this, even if you're confident in your defense. Like imagine you practice the defense I showed you guys for a bit. This is actually very important to do. On some maps, like we played on Death Star and Submarine because those seemed like really good maps for the VOIDRAY build. If they get away with building their Stargate and stuff too close, it's actually insanely hard to hold. I don't even know if it's really possible. Like if they build their first pylon here, they can make a Stargate and build batteries in range from their first pylon. Don't forget an important point that when they build it far is that they need to make an extra pylon, which costs more money obviously in the early game when they're already doing such a low econ build. It's actually expensive to make more buildings. So once again, we did the 18 SCV scout. We're gonna see there's nothing here. Then we see the double gas. And what we do with the Reaper is we send the Reaper to the obvious Stargate spots, which is on the left side. And we're gonna find it right away. Now if you see, they build it this close, just insta-pull the SCVs. And you'll see how good it is. Like, a Protoss should never get away with this. No matter if, like I said, no matter if you're confident in your normal hold, please don't let them get away with this, because you can just punish it like this. If they do the super early Stargate version, which is this one, they don't have like an adept out yet at this point to support it. So either the proxy is later or they won't be able to defend it. And you think it looks sketch, but actually these SCVs add a lot of damage, just look at it. Make sure to spread out your SCVs properly, by the way, giving them the room they need to attack. And this is very simple, guys, and this may actually be the best hold. Like, as you can see, there's no hope at all that this finishes. Actually, one game I tried it, he played it out, and I pulled my SCVs later, and the Stargate died with the VOIDRAY at 1/3 finished. So please, guys, if this looks very simple, and maybe you guys are laughing to yourselves like, oh, that can't be true. But trust me, if they build the Stargate this close, you can just pull your SCVs and finish it. Please don't let them get away with them building the Stargate this close. I think maybe if they do like a delayed version, where they can actually support with a gateway unit, they might be able to hold it, but honestly, I don't think so. So, like I said, if they build the Stargate here, or on any other map on your third base, just pull your SCVs and kill it. Don't pull all of them. Like, I think I usually keep like 8-ish SCVs at home. Like, I don't know, pull like 10, 15, 12 SCVs and just kill it. Because if they build it too close, you can. And this also is gonna force them to build it further away if they want it to be legit, right? Alright guys, now another thing I'm gonna show you guys is I found a blind counter build to this yesterday. And if you guys are just sick of dealing with proxy VOIDRAYS all the time, you can do that builder to counter it. So I'm gonna show you guys that now. Alright, so the build I'm gonna do here is actually a build I've been memeing it for a long time. I think no one ever really seriously used it in tournaments. But I have won a lot of it with it on the ladder, even against some top players, like definitely top players. Nice typing skills for me here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open with 2 racks Marine, and this is a super blind counter to this build. But I also want to tell you guys that I think it's pretty good in normal games. So what I'm gonna do for you guys, like this, how long is this replay? 3.5 minutes, because I just win the game. I'm gonna once again, how about we make a code word? If I forget to attach the replays, write Le Mayonnaise 13 in the comments, okay? But I'm gonna try to attach replays of where my opponent doesn't proxy Stargate, and I just own them with this opener. So you guys can see that it's not just a really stupid blind counter build that works 10% of the games, but you can actually win proper games with it, because I actually think it's a pretty decent build. So you go for a 16 barracks, and then you make another barracks at 17. Like very simple to execute, no gases, by the way. And then the version I like to do, because of recent meta evolvements, I don't know if that's a word, of the meta evolving recently to Korean Terrans especially hiding what they're doing in their main base by walling off fast, and people won't know if they're doing a one base all-in or a Reaper expand on the high ground. I decided to do this as well to hide this build order. Now in this case I actually don't think he's going to be scouting me. He is going straight for the proxy. But in any case, I think this is pretty cool. Like, it's pretty confusing for them. Imagine they don't proxy and they just scout normally. This is pretty confusing. So you're just going to make Marines. This is another standard 18 SCV scout, by the way. That's just the golden standard, guys. From now on, until the cheeses are over, 18 SCV scout, and that's it. Don't argue about it, guys. That's your homework. 18 SCV scout of Protoss. Now the moment you see no natural, you look around with the first Marine. Like, you don't have a Reaper, so you're gonna have to do it with the Marine. Here we go again. I think, yeah, Rail actually didn't do the 12 pylon version, I believe. Like, it looked like he had at least one more probe. Maybe two, I'm not sure. So we're just gonna be looking around. Obviously on this map, just a small tip. You have to check this as well, because maybe they mined this out and proxied here, or maybe the middle. So check that as well. But another map, you just scout around with your Marine. I don't even know. Oh, I did actually see it already. There's the Stargate. And you can see what it looks like, guys. You have 3 Marines, and yeah. There's honestly nothing he can do. He's just gonna have to cancel. It's just a complete blind counter to this build. And I already have my CC up as well. Like, this is not a super low economy build. Like, you actually, like I said, you have your 3rd CC up, and then you're gonna go for 3 racks. And even in macro games, like I played a few yesterday, and I actually beat some top EU Protoss players with this as well. Once again, replace in the description. LeMay and Ace 13 if I forget it. And yeah, the rest of this game is not super relevant. But basically the follow-up of this is, after you get your depot, your 3rd depot, because you need that supply, you get your double gas, and then a 3rd barracks. And there you're gonna go for a standard setup, you know. You get a tech lab and a reactor and an engineering bay. If you really want to know the build, check out the replays I'm gonna post, because those are actually gonna have the proper follow-up. Here you can see the setup. I think I made like 10 Marines, 11 Marines, 1 tech lab, 1 reactor, 3rd barracks, and the eBay. Now this game, yeah, he just dies. And that's it. Well, anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I showed you guys a good hold, and then also some things you can do to kill it earlier, to blind counter it, so plenty of options for you guys. Please let me know how it goes. I'm relatively sure a lot of you are gonna get tortured by this the upcoming weeks, upcoming days, so I hope you guys don't lose that much MMR to it, and maybe even gain MMR thanks to this guide. So yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed it a lot. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and see you guys next time. Adios.